And let's just say I make it 6y plus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 4. Notice that it's the same, 6y, 6y, but now it's 6y plus 3, right? In order to get this correct, I must multiply everything here by everything here. In other words, the 6y has to get multiplied by both of those pieces, and the 3 has to get multiplied by both of those pieces. So far, so good? All right, let's do the 6y pieces. Yes, ma'am? Let's do the 6y pieces. 6y times 2x is 12xy, and 6y times positive 4 is positive 24y. Okay? This is the result of multiplying the orange pieces. The 3 now, we'll do the 3. 3 and positive 2x is positive 6x. 3 and positive 4 is positive 12. This is the answer when we multiply the 3 by both of those pieces. Now, normally, you would be able to collect like terms, but there aren't any like terms. Those are xy's, those are y's, those are x's, and that's a number. So this actually ends up being your answer when you multiply that pair of binomials. We're going to keep going with several more samples of what this looks like to give you some practice. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. There's breaking it apart like this and this, but there's also a method where we stack it up, down, and you multiply then by doing it the way you kind of do with something like this, 124 times 12. If I multiply 124 times 12, notice I've got my ones in the ones position, my tens, you just stack them up. The first thing you do is multiply the 124 by the 2, right? That means this is the result of 124 times 2. Agree? You've been taught to put a placeholder under here, and that's because we're not multiplying anything by ones anymore. We are, however, going to be multiplying by this 10. 4, 2, and 1. 1240 is the result of 124 multiplied by 10. Of course, you add them all up, and since they are all lined up in the proper column, it adds up rather nicely. Multiplying binomials can be done in the exact same fashion, and I will show you an example real quick. Multiply 2, this is example 1. 2y minus 3 times 3y squared minus 4y minus 4. Okay. I'm going to teach you the method that is similar to this, the stacking method, or they call it the vertical method. First thing, make sure that both polynomials are arranged in decreasing degree of a variable. Now, if there's two variables, you have to pick one. But in this case, they're all y's. Is this in decreasing degree of y? Yes. Y to the first, no degree. Y to the second, y to the first, no degree. So we've just verified that these are in decreasing degree of the variable. If they weren't, make them decreasing degree. Like if the first polynomial said negative 3 plus 2y, and the second one said negative 4y plus 3y squared minus 4. If it was this, that's not in decreasing degree. You want it to be written that way. And some of the ones the book's going to give you are going to be like this. And if you attempt to do the vertical multiplication like this, your answer is going to be a train wreck. Okay? So we've made everything in decreasing degree of y. Now we are going to stack the polynomials, but they need to be left justified. That's typewriter terminology, but I'll show you what I mean by that. The biggest one with the most terms goes on top. Okay? The one that is smaller does not get pushed to the right, it gets pushed to the left. That's what I mean by left justify. Okay? And instead of starting on the right like we do in numeric, you multiply starting on the left. Okay? So we're going to do this, that, and that. Okay? We're going to do 3y squared times 2y, which is what?
6y times
third. And then 2y, negative 4y, so that's negative 8y squared, and 2y and negative 4, negative 8y. You know how we put a placeholder and you move to the left? Well, we're going to put a placeholder and move to the right when we do these threes. Three y squared negative 3 is negative 9y squared. Notice that the y squareds have lined up because we decreasing degree and because we are moving in the right direction. 4y and negative 3 is what? Positive 12y. And negative 3 and negative 4, positive 12. Add them up. The cubes total 6y cubed. The squares total 17y squared. The y's, positive and negatives, positive 4y. And there's nothing to add the constants to. And there's your answer. There's your answer. Your entire assignment looks like this, or like this. And you could stack this too if you want, like what I did here. And they could get bigger and badder, but it doesn't really matter. You still just perform the exact same steps. Let me stop this real quick.